My name is Gabriel Johnson, also known as King Gabe.
Anytime it says king, you shut your
King.
mouth. I'm going to give him
Thank you. All right. Today is before I start, how many of y'all have seen me up here before? Or any? Thank you. Okay, let's see in the back there. Okay, as I got from the email when I got today a few weeks ago, y'all theme is winning and success. But pretty much related to the last event y'all had, sort of like this, about the GED. So today I'm here to give you some words of encouragement on that, which a lot of you, the GED is like your second chance, sort of like a second chance in life. Not only to make a great achievement, but also to have the ability to go toward greater achievements with the help of Jesus Christ. Because with his help, you can get to where it is that you want to be in life, whether it's trying to get to your dream career, any career that you might have that you're trying to get to, firefighter, army, business owner. Sky's the limits there. Now, also before I start, is there any of you want to tell me what you desire to do with your life after taking the GED? And you can also share how you feel about the GED. Anyone at all?
I just feel like once I get my GED, I just want to continue the job that I'm working for. Like, they're really trying to help me get higher than where I'm at as far as driving trucks with a company. And my dad, he's the reason why I'm really there, because growing up from New Orleans, it was rough. And high school wasn't a thing back then, but I played ball. That's the only thing that kept me in school. Okay. So by getting a GED, I just feel like it's a second chance at doing what I want to do and making my sons proud also. Okay. So I just feel like the GED gonna help me with a lot.
Okay, so you say truck driving, right?
Yay, Carl! Let's hear for Carl. Yay.
I know some people where I work at Kroger. There, a lot of them that be delivering stuff for Kroger. That's a lot. That's kind of like a fad with a lot of them. So we want to become truck drivers there. So you pretty much you probably blend in with them there.
Yeah, I deal with a lot of truck drivers. A lot of them, they tell me, man, like, I already know how to drive the trucks. I'm good at doing that. I just have to get that GED.
And let me tell you, a little extra motivation towards you. As a truck drivers and bus drivers, because those are some pretty big vehicles. Yes. There's one thing my grandparents were saying: anybody who can drive those vehicles and drive them just as well as someone driving a regular car. Like my grandparents were on a tour one time in a tour bus, and they had to drive around a construction site on the mountain, and that bus just drove. I mean, it didn't bother him one bit.
Yeah, that's easy. It's once you get used to it.
Right, and if you master that, you can drive. That's no question about that.
Some days I drive the trucks, but I have to have somebody next to me, like a supervisor, make sure nothing don't happen.
So Carl, you're looking at not just the GED test, but the CDL written test.
In order to go to diesel driving academy, I have to have my GED. Yeah.
That's a good venture to go toward there, man.
Yes, sir.
Right. Anybody else? How about you right there?
Oh, yes, sir. For me to getting the GED would be good because I want to go to school for nursing. I've been taking care of people since I was like 12 years old. So, as a matter of fact, I got a job now. That's what I do, take care of people. So, once I accomplish that, I'm going to go and enroll in school for nursing as soon as I complete it.
Okay, so you got an early start with yours, huh?
Yes.
So like my grandfather, that's how he started grocery business, delivering groceries at 10 years old, man.
Let's hear it for Liz. We all need a nurse.
That's a good thing to get an early start, though. Really, as they know what it is you like from the earlier you know, the better off you are. Yeah. How about you, sir, in the back there?
I'm gonna say like me, like I'm not really sure what I want to do when I get my GED, but I'm just working toward it.
You don't have anything in mind that you might want to try there? Okay.
Let me say this about that young man. He's here early, very regularly. He came in during August when we were not even having, quote, class, yet he still wanted to work on his work.
Okay.
He also has received some promotions at work. He's at Outback. He's got a lot of good qualities for leadership and as a person.
Well, I'll tell you what, if, I know you say you don't.
Christian.
You're saying you're not for sure yet, but there's a lot of times that's usually the ones that great things even befall upon. I mean, you say you work at Outback, you might end up becoming manager and let's say you end up working along with the CEO or something like that there, because you just say you keep at it there. So you never know. or either you might find something else that you really want to try out, from now to next year or year after next there. How about you?
After I get my GED, I plan on going to school to become a pharmacy tech, dealing with medicine. So I've already took the medicine class for the state of Louisiana and paid today my job. And that's about it. That's my own plans.
Okay.
Ooh, you passed that test. That's kind of hard, all those medical terms, I know.
Yes. You know, I know everything, the human body and how it works and how it affects and what's going on with the body to let you know what kind of medicines they do need for these symptoms or, so I passed it.
Okay.
Yay.
That's a good profession there. Okay, how about you?
With me, I came because I want to get my CDLs, but like Miss Kathy was saying, like once you get the GED, I feel like, because I've been thinking about it, I feel like the sky's the limit, and no telling what I might do, because it can open doors to different things, different possibilities. So, but my goal is to get my CDLs, but I don't know. I just ain't fixed on it yet, but there would be a goal.
And she's the one that kept trying. She did not give up on calling. In fact, I commended her to tenacity. That means willingness to keep at it, keep going on. That's kind of what we're talking about, tenacity, persistence. And I even let her enroll early. She got to get tried to. Let's hear from Beatrice. Bernie, I'm sorry. I gave you a new name. Sorry about that. Sorry to be anyway.
All right. Well, it seems like y'all gave some. Is there anybody else want to add anything to that there, or anybody? Even you guys back there, or anybody?
I just want to congratulate you for being here.
Oh.
It's the first step to a great opportunity.
Okay, thank you. You're very welcome with that then. Okay, well, with what y'all have shared, one thing I want to, in response to that, I want to tell you, even though I have graduated high school without having to take the GED, let me tell you, it was not an easy task to go to even going that route. It was not an easy task, and there was a point that I didn't even think I would even get out of middle school to get to high school, because of the test they had trying to get out of middle school, which kind of because I didn't really take it too seriously, but also at the same time I also thought that I wasn't going to be able to pass it and get into the next level. But as I say, it was Jesus that saw me through there and allowed me to meet some really good people in my life to help encourage me through it, just the way I'm encouraging you guys. So we all are here to help one another. That's why the good Lord made many of us instead of just one person on the earth, because we all here to help one another. Okay, now another thing I'm gonna share with you guys is the keys to success. So you got success over there on the little plaque there. These right here are the keys of success that can really help y'all. It can really help y'all in life. First, the first key is to pray in the name of Jesus, okay, which comes from John 14:14. And say now, how many of y'all are really good with praying there? Okay. That's it. And one thing, and I know everybody calls out Jesus when they need help. So, but when you pray in the name of Jesus sincerely, and say, tell him what it is that you're praying for, your problems. You know, I really need to pass even the GED or the test that I'm trying to take in order to get this job that I want or this career I want. Is pray in his name and he will see you through. That's one way. The second key, really kind of about the order here, but do all things you can, believe that you can do all things through Christ which strengthens you. Because that's one, when you pray, when you first come prayer with the first key, a lot of times when you're praying, you're probably gonna have doubts in yourself about what it is you're praying. But after you done prayed to him, them doubts should be left. That's the thing why they say God gives you the spirit. He does not give you the spirit of fear, but the spirit is to help you relieve you of your doubts, and let you know that you can do this. That's after prayer. This is how you should feel. Is now I can do it. That comes from Philippians 4:13. And also to believe it, you have to trust in God. From Proverbs 3:5-6. This used to be our answer machine that my mom and I had back when I was like elementary. This was our answer machine. Proverbs 3:5-6. And the thing and what it's telling you, trust in God. If you didn't, first of all, if you didn't have trust in God, you wouldn't pray to him. But the fact that you're praying to him means that you do have trust in him, because you can't do one without the other. So when you're praying to him, you have to trust God that he's going to do what he says he's going to do. And I'm pretty sure with the story of any of y'all have heard the story of Abraham, he had to have trust in God that he was going to get the son that God told him he was going to get to be the father of many nations. So the same way he did it for him, he's going to do it for you. And from Ephesians 5:1, follow God. After you done prayed, believed you can do it, have your trust in him, now you have to follow him. Basically following the ways that they say his ways. Any of you ever heard of WWJD? Exactly. They say, what is it? That's one of the ways of following God. You know, you get in a situation, a certain situation. How would Jesus handle that? What would Jesus do? And say, and if you read, and even in, if you read, like especially leading up to his crucifixion, he prayed to God, and it was hard. Just like you're saying that GED is hard. Can you imagine how he felt, knowing that he would have to go on Calvary? You realize how hard something like that. You see something like that, knowing you have to go through it. That's why he went in the garden to pray. And say, Lord, take this from me, but not by my will, but by your will. And thanks to him, we all have a chance in life. And that's why following God is important, because just like Jesus followed God's plan of doing what he did for us, that's how we should do in order to get what we want in life and be successful. And Matthew 6:33, put God first. Always put God first in everything you do in life. put him first. Let's say whatever it is you finna do, taking the GED, your career, always in the name is a put God first. Don't put nothing else before him, because he is the key to your success, as explained in the previous keys. So before I close out, is there any questions anybody have for me, or anything else you'd like to add to what I've said?
I notice your action words, or what we call verbs, could also be applied to the GED, like to have a plan, to follow.
A plan, ma'am?
Yeah, you use some keywords of trust.
Right.
Trust in yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Follow a plan.
and also believe that you can do all
Believe,
things.
yes.
Say pray, and also putting God first there. That's a really good key words to remember.
I think Mr. Gabe has a new project that he's working on, and something about heroes. Could you give us a quick definition? What do you think a hero is?
Hero, well, let's say from what we all know, a hero is someone that stands up above all to do what's right. Let's say, and a hero is I know we know about superheroes, but a hero can also be any of us. I mean, don't necessarily have to be a person that's in a costume, or has a cool gimmick or anything like that. It could just be somebody that ran in a burning building to save a little girl, let's say, or risk or put their life on the line to save someone. Like any of y'all ever say an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, how Will had saved Carlton from a bullet there at the post office. I mean, he didn't have no costume on or nothing like that, but the minute he saw Carlton was in danger, he pushed him out the way and took the bullet for him. That's an example of a hero. As a matter of fact, even in my hero books, the books that I write, there's a character that's not necessarily classified as a hero making a crossover there, but yet he's doing some heroic things. He don't have like a costume or anything like that, or call himself super this, but yet he's doing what he's doing. He's just doing his thing and doing what's right.
Have you ever gotten discouraged or frustrated when you were working on your projects, or felt rejected, or?
I have there. Different books, as they like when I've tried to put them in the books are like my books are on the online retailers, but the biggest problem has been trying to get them like actually on the shelf where you could go in the store and just pick them up off the shelf and say, I want to buy this book. I have actually went like in Barnes and Noble and Books A Million and asked them that, and the answers a lot of them gave me was like, well, we don't, the way you got it published, we can't accept it like that. So, but like I say, but even with that rejection, I still continue doing what I'm doing. So if I gotta continue selling them from me and online, I mean, my thing is getting the message in them across there, regardless of how they, as I say, because as long as it's getting to others, that's the goal there.
I do know that you have some here at our branch and in other libraries available for
checking out.
checking out.
Just look for Heroes of Dreams. There's a book. They are available in the library system. I think they should be in this library on the shelf there, from what I was told there. So yeah, just look for Heroes of Dreams by Gabriel Johnson. And kind of see what the series is like, and I think there's even stories in there. While they're kids superheroes, but there are some little obstacles in their life that can even relate to your own. Anything else there?
So what helped you continue your dream of going on with your projects?
One, because I have a real strong passion, interest in making superheroes there. one thing that especially with different superhero shows that I've grown up with looking at from DC and Marvel comics and stuff like that. And one real good thing is being able to make my own superheroes, and not only make my own superheroes, but I wanted to know, well, why can't they be kids starting off? I mean, all the heroes I've seen come across were like adults and teenagers. Not anything against that and nothing like that, but how come you don't ever see like kids, in the same position? So that's why I started Heroes of Dreams there. Something that could really be relatable, because when you're a kid, you're always told, well, you're too young for this, you're too young for that, so let's get something that you can do that you don't have to be a certain age for.
I like that attitude. You hung in there, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Didn't let rejection or anything stop you.
Right. And that's the same that is expected with you guys and what you're doing in life. Say, don't let any type of rejection get in your way of what you're trying to accomplish. Because as long as what you're trying to accomplish is positive, and also a benefit to you and others, and also in line with God's word, keep on going for it. Because even preachers and ministers that are actually, you might say, well, like T.D. Jakes telling Kurt Franklin, he's like, well, you don't think I have pain? Kurt Franklin's like, I don't see why. You on the cover of Prime Time, man. Well, you're looking at the now, but you don't know how I struggled and what I've been through. So like you say, just like, so they have struggles to get to where they at, but yet they keep pressing through it, and look where they at now.
I'll share, so y'all know where I'm coming from. I used to be a fourth grade teacher at a magnet school. I used to have the idea, I'm going to stay here until either a bomb gets me out or a skunk. Well, we did have some skunks, but not anyway. Long story short, I had a very major medical crisis. I coded out. I was resuscitated. A little hope of survival. Medical records state prognosis of recovery, got residual impairments, 0%. They didn't think I was going to live through the night at one point. Through medical work and prayer and rehab, I was able to come back, with all that. And I have very few residual impairments. And I've also had some other medical issues and other things, some setbacks through my life, personal issues, divorces and bankruptcies, but here I am. I'm like a cat landed on my feet. So just, some people have struggles that you don't think would have struggles, but they've overcome the obstacles and have kept going. I'm like everybody remember the little story, the little engine kind of basically he was sort of a little runt. They didn't think he could do anything, but yet he had that attitude. And what was his attitude? I think I can, I think I can. And then they needed him one day, and then he changed that I think I can to I know I can. I know I can. And he started, they needed his help and his assistance. And so that's what it is in life. You just don't let things stop you. Just say, dig in there deeper. Like someone said earlier, if you say, no, you can't do it, that makes you want to do it even harder and all that. So I would like to encourage you to keep on keeping on and don't give up on. I have had some students come back, things happen in their life and they've come back and they've been able to be successful in achieving and getting their GED and all that. So I encourage you, just because things happen, just don't give up, and we'll welcome you back with welcoming arms and loving arms, for you to continue your pathway of success. Anybody have any questions at this time for Mr. Gabe? We look forward to, there's a coach, now he's in basketball, another sport. He had a lot of strength as a coach. Who can tell me what they think a coach does that's opposed to a teacher, or is a coach like a teacher?
He's like a teacher.
Yeah, don't. Well, he had all these sayings that he is now known for, and one of them I really, really like. He said, "You can do more than what you think you can." And he had some other quotes too about success, about keeping on. He said, "Don't let failure become the end." And you know, he's quoted all over. In fact, I have something very special for Mr. Gabe. Something from the coach. He's talking about books. I thought you might enjoy this book about him. And he got this. He kind of got into his player's personal life, and I think that's what made him so good too. He also had some principles that shaped his life and will change yours. Coach Wooden just didn't teach basketball, he taught life, and that was from Tony Dungy, who is another famous coach.
Okay.
Here's your little thank you card as well. And if that's not your cup of tea for encouragement, if you feel more like getting wild or whatever, Street Executives America, Hip Hop, I'm going to share some of the titles. Stadium Lights, They Need to Know, The Right Way, Put Your Fist Up, that means to get it a little, and then it says, Let's Get Started. Pain Ain't Strange. So, these are your thank you gifts.
All right. Appreciate that.
And your friend that came with you, I assume is your
That's my wife there.
lovely wife. Okay. And she's not aware of this, and I have a thank you gift for her coming